Hey, what's up, champ?
I'm chilling like a villain. Happy to be back
Like,
here reacting with you,
what up,
doing our
YouTube?
YouTube thing.
YouTube, what up,
What we
YouTube?
what we talking about?
I like the diddler, man.
Ah, the diddler,
I like
the
the
fiddler,
diddler.
diddler, whiddler, biddler, diddler, the
Yeah,
diddler.
I
Oh
think I
my
might.
God, the guy's now the diddler.
I think I might have
You better
moved
change it.
it.
Let's see here. It's always at the bottom.
Okay, at the bottom.
hmm So, guys, we're talking about the diddler and the Netflix special, The Reckoning.
Okay, yeah, here it is.
I had this conversation. I had some
Y'all sure
conversation.
y'all want to talk about this? All right, that's what y'all want to do.
Unless you want to talk, you want
I
to
mean,
talk.
I'm at work, so
At work.
work. No, stop. Okay.
Hey, hey.
Yeah. So what we talk about? We gotta watch it.
No, we don't gotta watch it.
Okay,
Don't
good.
watch. We just gonna talk about it. I don't want to watch it again.
Thank you.
I can't watch it. It was long. It was long. It's a long watch.
Yeah, it was. I did watch it straight through.
Straight through.
I stayed up all night and watched it all morning.
Straight through. I don't know how you pull that off.
Watched the whole thing. I watched the
I
whole
was
thing.
like, wow, this like a straight like a school study session, staying up overnight a joint. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It wore me down.
I mean, none of the information was new.
It felt like an MTV music repost.
Yeah.
It's like all them old songs all over again. I don't know, hidden songs all over again.
No, they got to get
all them
license.
same shots all over again, repackaged in this version. Not the way it was told to us 10, 15 years ago. But no, this guy's been doing this for 10, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah. I felt like there was no new information. But maybe the people who needed to get their voice heard, that was the opportunity for them to get their voice heard.
I feel like that was a lot that happened. People that didn't get their voice heard got their voice heard.
Yeah. Maybe what they wanted to say, unless that was AI, but what they wanted to say, how they wanted to say it, and yeah, it was just the narrative that the producer and the writer wanted to provide the public. They had space and money to do something. They did it with that name. It's kind of what I saw. I just entertained myself with the way they put it together at that point.
What you got? So let's go. What you got?
What was the part of the documentary was the most unexpected or eye-opening for you? Uh, hmm. Gosh, do I really want to talk about this? I'm sorry, y'all. Like when I watched it, the way that they produced that documentary, the narrative that they were trying to put up, the part that I think was most surprising is like they said that Tupac's unalivers were like there after everything had happened and nobody like knew
that they sat on the street and watched the police ride by. That part. You talking about that part?
I thought that was interesting. Like that was interesting how
it could be that easy.
That easy that you just unalive this person and
Tupac.
Right. This popular person, and then you're just standing there next to everybody in the crowd while they're handling the scene. I thought that was interesting narrative they put there.
To add to what he also said in the documentary about that, he said afterwards they just went to like a hotel and kicked it like it was nothing.
Right.
He did say that. That was a tough part because it's like, damn, that was Tupac. It wasn't Joe Blow. Like it was
right, but to us it was Tupac. Right, to them it was just another.
But even to them, he was still someone that you at least I would assume you should like. Okay, your city's bad if people that this popular can just be unalive and the guys are across the street like go right there. That's a bit much. How's the policing in that city? That's crazy.
But police are reactionists. They're not going to stop the crime.
They're going to react. And,
they're going to react.
And the person that probably did it could be right there.
Right. And the person that did it could be right there.
That's crazy.
At least the way that documentary was documenting the whole God, that whole part, like that just happened so simple, and that they really wanted to press the narrative that he had set up the whole unaliving of both those famous
Yeah,
rappers, Tupac and Biggie. I thought that was interesting.
they try to place
Um,
that it was his fault in the documentary. Same thing. OG keeps yelling, "Puffy killed Tupac." That's his mo. Man,
I
that's
remember being a kid watching the East Coast West Coast rivalry and seeing very simple people making it right, just the simpletons.
people couldn't even get on the plane to go to
Right.
California. They were repping the East Coast.
Yeah, I just remember being a kid and seeing adults like rival about like people they didn't know and colors they were like it just as a kid not being able to go outside and have fun because you didn't know and I'm from Dade County, Opelika. So to see people not to feel like I was scared to go outside because people were rivaling about rappers and a color.
People took it that serious.
Man, yo, yeah, man, yeah. I remember being afraid to be outside. You say Choppers? Choppers was alive back in the
Mm,
90s. Like
mm.
drive-bys. I mean, driving up the street on 135th and seeing the the wreckage of a drive-by, and it was yeah, man. And kids being unalive because of it.
A lot of kids
At
on
the
the line.
park.
Yeah,
You
stray
know,
bullets
yeah, like
for this foolishness,
right.
and to find out he's at the epicenter of all of it.
I don't know about that.
That's
See,
what they were trying to.
or
I
at
feel
least
like
that's what
I feel like the
I don't
document.
believe.
I believe that's what the documentary was trying to hint at.
Right.
I'm not saying that
Right.
he was.
Right.
This is what I felt when I watched it. Was like, is this what they're trying to say?
Right.
Because it was leaning there. I was heavy on that,
Yeah.
and that was like a whole episode.
I remember someone trying to recruit me in middle school into a gang. And they told me that I would have to be jumped in or pretty much essayed and that I would have to choose. I couldn't just use my karate to defend myself, I was into karate, jujitsu, and martial arts, and that I would have to join a gang and all that. It was just the intimidation and seeing people argue while they were intoxicated about colors and who's the best rapper and then seeing the somberness of when the rappers were unalive. It's just that toxicity it carried.
Was it somber? It's so funny you bring that up. I felt like when Pac died, don't get me wrong, as a young man, because I was young when it happened, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, they died over rapping. Like, they did. I knew they weren't. I knew as a kid, I knew they weren't gangsters because gangsters, I used to always hear from the gangsters, real G's move in silence.
Right.
So if you're rapping about it, you're not a gangster because you're telling everything. If you got to say, rah, I'm going to do this, F this, and F that, and F you, gangsters they ain't do that from what I understand.
I mean, they stood next to the crime scene after it happened.
And then you ain't know they did it.
You ain't know they did it. Right?
You see what I'm saying?
That's how gangster to me.
That's how solid the G's move. So I knew they weren't. So as a kid, I was like, they died for that? And then when Big died, I was like, for me, it was sad, but it was so beautiful watching, because I wasn't in New York at that time. I was actually in the DMV by then. And I'm watching it on TV and was like, that looked like a beautiful funeral, that movement, that the city came out. And even in the documentary, they even capitalized on the funeral as well, which is crazy. But it felt like, for me, almost like a relief of that fight ended, that fight that they were having. Because after that fight ended, hip-hop got, like, it opened up again. And like, I felt like the hip-hop was finally like, had to go, yo, this is stupid. This is dumb what we're doing here. Like, people not enjoying music.
Well, there was always underground, quote, underground hip-hop. And there was always, I remember No Limit. I remember, all the other groups. So there was always hip-hop, but it seemed when that Machiavelli, when all that just was out and popular, it felt like a very eerie time as I can think as a kid.
It was
It
dark.
felt very eerie. Like
Felt like
just
so, yeah.
wearing the wrong color or saying the wrong thing could have really got you unalived.
From
And
foolish people that had nothing to do with it.
right, that had nothing to do with it.
Nothing
That had
whatsoever.
nothing. You don't even know them people.
Never even went to California.
Probably never been in those coasts.
Never been on a plane.
Right? Like you ain't leave your block. And you were talking about Tupac and Biggie and the colors you wearing. I'm just like, man, like I don't think I even wore red for a long time.
Oh, geez. They got you scared.
I wouldn't wear Jordans. My head had me in Reeboks, Reebok Classics, and I didn't wear red. I didn't wear blue. You was lavender. You wear salmon. You salmon. Peach, dog. We don't wear them colors up in here.
And that's a great place to wear those colors, Miami.
Right, Miami, turquoise. We got to. Greens. And then the other part is like this color had that threat, but everybody else like they were having fun listening to that music. Like they could go party and listen to that music and enjoy it as an entertainment,
as a human being, yeah,
right, as a customer.
And when we had it, it could cause you harm because no one would have. They didn't harm that other person listening to it. You're right. That's crazy. Right? That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's why I stayed up all night after I kept watching and watching. And I was like,
I got to see what the heck was going on
because I remember people fighting, argumentative over this whole thing.
Idiocracy.
The masses is asses, man.
The masses, man's asses, boy.
Like your life trajectory changed because of what was going on. Like you couldn't do or couldn't go or young sports stars coming up in the urban inner cities were like they couldn't make it because if they were not a part of some type of protection, like they had to be unalived. That sucked. Or your parent wouldn't let you pursue things because you was going to end up on a red couch, or you were going to end up.
Oh man, don't even start there. You might if you went to his house, you might ended up in a red couch. We went
to a Diddy party. We didn't end up on a red couch
because
we saw Cassie. We saw all of them
because we did not. I don't know what was going on back then, but when the things got, from what I understand, when it started getting hot,
up in here.
And we were out, and we were not in the rooms.
No, we weren't in the room.
But once it started getting hot in the pool, when it get hot in Miami, and it's already hot, time for you to leave.
Time to go.
Time to get your ass.
But they wouldn't even let us in.
Oh, we didn't try to go.
No, they didn't let us in the after party.
The other party.
That was, they got a few parties. They didn't even let us in the after party.
Man, I had a dope whip outside. It was all good.
That dude was crying to get in that party.
Yes, let's say that. We seen people cry to get into them parties.
Man.
And to hear that's what was going on. Well, they would let you in if you would have paid
a high ticket price.
Crazy high ticket price. Or if you would have cried.
We
literally saw a grown man shed tears. Because he was not let into the party.
That was crazy. That was the craziest thing I ever seen. But I never cared to be famous or be, being from Miami, you walk around famous people. So it's normal, you walk around stars like, you're a star, so it wasn't that important. But as a kid, I must say, to know that people were fighting and your life could be taken because you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And this foolishness.
Yeah, that was one. What else?
What else we got? What else we got there?
Let me see here. What did you say? You wanted more questions? More questions. You said it at the bottom. Yeah, I did. I think I did.
Are you talking? You chit-chatty, gang bang.
Do you think Netflix and filmmakers handled this story responsibly? What does that even mean? Responsibly, like what did they retain the copyright?
I guess putting it out.
Handle it responsibly.
That's a loaded question.
Was there anything important you felt was missing from the documentary? I don't know. I don't even know.
What else could? I mean, I feel like a lot of was given. I don't see what else they could have put in it.
How should media platforms approach documentaries that involve serious allegations and major cultural figures? Yeah, yeah. It was a lot of mashup of stuff, just a lot of mashup of things. Oh, I haven't watched. It's been a minute since I watched it, so
It's to the point that it's just disappointing. It's just disappointing. That's it for me. So if I can wrap it all up, it's just disappointing.
I knew Diddy couldn't rap. I said that. I knew he couldn't rap.
I
knew
never,
he was a performer.
I don't think anyone ever said, "Yo, that verse." I said, I got one friend on earth that just loves Diddy's end of Big Papa. I'm like, that's him talking about come to the crib, get your friends, get my friends, we can be friends. And he loved it. So some people do like him. They like what he rapped, but yeah, I knew he didn't have. He's not big. He's not Craig Mack. He's not the Locks. I felt like he was just the business behind it. That's what I enjoyed as a young man, is the fact that he could put the puzzle together and put out this fantastic.
I feel like they don't talk about the mental health part of some of these people and why they do these things. Some of the politics behind it, some of the bigger names behind them being able to capture these roles, these jobs. I just hate that they put that toxicity on Black culture, and I'm glad that the FBAs, whatever they want to call them, that they're stepping away from that toxicity.
The
foundational Black. I'm glad they're stepping away from that, because I saw foreigners trying to portray Black culture, and it was very distasteful to see it on someone who they were not born here,
and they assume it to be what they've been sold to on the TV,
right? And reenacting that, even seeing kids reenacting that through their adolescence and their innocence.
And that's not where people were coming from.
Right. And then to see them reenact, and then they portray that onto you, like you not Black enough and you not thug enough, and you it's like, what?
So
what's going on here?
And that's so crazy. Me as a person that's not from this country, and when people came to me and they'll assume I am because of the way I look, but then they'll think because I wasn't, that I wasn't Black enough. And I hear like, okay, but I am from another place. No, you are. You Black, dog.
You MTV.
You supposed to be. I'm like, I listen to the music just like you, man. This is new stuff to me too.
I'm a customer, man. I'm just a customer, man.
I'm just a customer,
so
baby.
you telling me you couldn't go into they bar mitzvahs and jitsus and all that and just be a customer because of your color, that you had to also assume the culture and the actions, because I'm hearing also too, like,
and if you did it, you were considered an Oreo.
Yeah, you were Oreo, you were nerd, or you not like you not gangster, you not
thug, with time, all that, a lot of stuff.
Not even just time. It just felt like you were not not Black, and you like.
But being told that from somebody that didn't even look like the people that they acted like they
didn't even look like that.
It's like the time when we said the Beyonce cover and we didn't know any of the words, and everybody else knew all the words.
They was upset we didn't know Jay-Z and Beyonce.
How do you not know Jay-Z and Beyonce? Yo, I did not study.
I didn't, right?
I should have prepared for this test.
I didn't know this Black test was coming up. Here's my card.
I thought it was karaoke. You know, because this time I saw y'all didn't know some of the words.
Right? That was tough, because, and then I think I mentioned to you another thing I disliked was how people would just do this whole attitude of if you did know the popular music and you didn't know the underground, like, oh, you're not down, you don't really know, you don't know underground. And it's like, but that's the problem, it's under the ground, so how I'm gonna know?
So make people feel better about now. And I'm one that I did keep an ear to the underground, but cheat code, you come from New York, you get mixtapes, you get into that world, you will find that, because that was back in the day how it happened. But
yeah, the mixtape was.
But your dad had the mixtape. So
my dad was.
So you were also part. You also knew, but you just didn't know the name, probably more.
Yeah, I probably just didn't know the name
because your dad was he's a DJ. You know, so he had the mixtape. It's just what I say is this. Okay, cool. I mean, even though I know, but if you didn't know, you go, that's not what I'm being sold.
Right.
That's not what's being mass
Marketed to
marketed.
you. Mhm.
Why should I care? It's cool to go that deep once I understand the culture and I get to that education level. But if I'm not, and you're just somebody enjoying entertainment, you know, I'm not going to tell somebody not to enjoy entertainment that's being mass marketed.
Right.
Just understand that it is being mass marketed.
Right.
That's how what I would just say. It's being mass marketed. So understand, do you like it?
Right.
Are you allowed the opportunity to even say you like it? If it's being mass marketed. If it's on the radio all the time, eventually I'm going to sing the goddamn song. I may sing it.
You might sing along, right?
And that's why I don't listen to radio.
Right.
Because I don't want to sing along to something I don't like.
Right. Yeah.
Because I know they're not going to mix it up.
Yeah.
I know I can put on the. I think one time I did put on the radio recently because some people like I've been around and saying they listen to radio. I'm like, listen to radio. So I try to put it on, and I swear every 30 minutes it was the same songs.
Right.
Every 30 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I just didn't like the toxicity of the culture behind that mass marketing of you not down, you not thug enough, you not gangster. And it's like, you ain't gangster either.
Like, you wouldn't be here with me if you were.
You know, it's like, you ain't gangster either. You know, it's just like, it just felt like, if you ever see, I guess, some scenes in a movie where a person's walking a certain way, but all the masses around them, like I guess it's the Matrix, he was splitting the people and people were walking on the side.
The Matrix,
and you walk. That's how I felt as a kid. Like I could see the masses, just they look so. And if you see my face, like I want to spit. It's like I seen people be disgusting to people, and they didn't know anything. They didn't know these people. They didn't. They. It's just.
So this is why that's so disappointing because people fought for this. They fought for this bull.
Yeah.
And it was all
lies,
prefabricated,
lies,
and molest and essaying,
and but then some people
coercion,
capitalize off of it for their generations, for their grandchildren, like their children have been able to keep their money. Rothschilds, Hiltons, they've been able to keep their money while my parents had to withhold my trajectory of future because they were afraid of what could happen. That sucked.
I can see that.
That really sucked. And then other people in your same proximity would also be like, if you tried to rap, that you were corny because you wasn't thug enough and you wasn't gangster enough and you ain't really trill.
And also, I'll tell those people this: you're being mass marketed. You're not, that dude is not nice. If 20 dudes write a song together, you're gonna get a goddamn good song. It's not. He wasn't even a rapper, but if Jadakiss and the Locks, Styles P is there as well. All these guys, these people that are writers are in the room with me. I'm gonna spit some hot fire.
And then now let's even talk about how it changed the MCs, female MCs.
Mace.
How it changed female MCs to the way they look, to what they, like it was almost like you couldn't be a female rapper without having a male attachment to be popular, to be a good rapper. It just that culture was just so toxic, and then you had to
talking about the industry.
Yeah, I'm talking about the industry. Yeah, like how you had to be lighter skinned, or you had to get the bodies done. You wonder why the girls are getting the BBL. You wonder why
changed?
Kim K's.
But has it changed? It has not changed.
Why would it need to change?
If the same formula.
If the blueprint has been set and the building is pushing the trajectory of it, why would it need to change?
It's not changing, and that's why I believe.
I don't think something needs to. Why would I tell Walmart to change? Why would I tell Coca-Cola to change its formula if it's working?
Well,
why would I tell McDonald's?
Because I'm not sure that the mass marketing is working as it did. That's why. I mean,
does Nielsen bring the numbers? Do we see the data?
Oh, don't even get me started on the data.
Can we see the numbers?
Don't even get me started on Nielsen. Don't even get me started on.
I mean, wasn't that what Prince was fighting about, and all of them were fighting about?
And if they were fighting about it, guys, it's that serious. That's it.
Right.
That's how much I don't even want to even. I don't even. But that was a document.
How Black culture got tarnished in front of the world. And to this day, we're still living with those stigmas, and that we're pulling away. So when we see foreigners or people who are non-black trying to portray this blackness, we just laugh. I laugh now. We laugh now because it's like you got caught. You took the blue red pill. You took the pill, and and I notice now they're looking back like, oh, blacks are like not doing they like they looking like they not listening to this music. They're not portraying that.
Yeah, because it's too violent. I mean, how many times does a young, vibrant entertainer have to be unalive?
And when did only a rapper? When did only a male rapper, black male rapper? And then imagine how the policing became aggressive because of the music and all of the correctional. Like, it's just a rabbit hole that it led blackness down. I'm just disgusted with it. And still the white girl got away with the money. They let Cassie get away with the money, like as usual. As you, the black girl died, his wife died. And the white girl got the money. She got the money.
Oh my God. Didn't even,
like,
damn.
It's the perfect portrayal. It's the perfect portrayal
of the industry.
I mean, yeah.
Of the industry.
It's the perfect portrayal.
Honestly, it needs to be, it's going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie.
No, this book needs to be closed.
You want to
they're just remarketing and repackaging it. Man, but they're not going to say what I'm saying. The truth of being in the trenches and actually experiencing it on a micro level, on why decisions were being made and the politics behind it, and how they were able to take advantage of it, and who was able to capitalize on it anyway. Yeah, they're not going to talk about that. That's why I don't really talk to y'all YouTube. Y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all don't really hear it. But
they claim they do.
Yeah, they claim it.
They claim it, but they're gonna have their own hissy, and no one cares. Okay, it just get look. It's disappointing. It's whack that this is what they've been playing with this entire time. And damn, you said that she got away with the money, and the wife. Damn.
Even the killers didn't get the money, did he? Ain't
nobody. He paid nobody. He barely paid him. He paid him right up front.
He said, "You ain't get them all. You ain't get them all."
And kept it moving.
And kept it moving. I mean, I remember then when black on black crime, because of this happening, it was okay for black on black crime. The penalization of it, even other cultures looking away in dismay and disrespect to black on black crime because they like that's what y'all do to each other because of this. That's what I'm talking about, the real deal Sid shit that really go down, and you dealing with it because of what you look like and the expectations.
And you got nothing to do with it.
And you got nothing to do with it.
Not get a penny from
nothing to do with it. You got nothing to do with it.
Not getting a penny from it whatsoever.
You just trying to manage yourself, and now you got the youngins growing up thinking they gotta look like this, be like this, to be a pop. And then the disrespect of the industry, how people would look at you when we go to those parties and we would go to those spaces, and the distaste they would look at you with like you are nothing.
If you're not going to participate in the games they were playing.
If you're not going to participate in the industry, like you were nothing. Your raps is corny. And you were nothing. And I mean, I remember. And then if you're not acting like the thoughts and the slots and the whores and like you not being a devil was wrong. The twistiness of it.
Now we're here at this level. So what's going to go on now? Where are they going from here?
Who they?
After this has been portrayed, this is what's been going on for somebody of this caliber.
And then the hidden homosexuality, the coming to find out, because that whole male toxicity, negative toxicity, I feel like it came from that. Is like they didn't talk enough about that part. Like,
no, they didn't talk about that at all.
Why we even got red pill, blue pill, one fish, two fish? It's like
they waited to the end to bring that up. I know.
Why did you wait to the end? Like,
why is that the fear?
And why is homosexuality so scary?
I think, aren't we more open? I think the society acts as if it's open to this. Why did they wait to the end
to still like, aha?
It's like, okay,
like, okay.
I thought I knew
do that already, right? Why did you save it for last?
I felt like all of this was due to you all being in love with each other.
Yeah, with each other. Why did it have to be such a aha, got you?
You didn't get us.
Again.
You didn't get us with that. I don't believe that part. I didn't get.
Some people got. It's some people still up here, East Coast, West Coast. It might be some people still thinking.
They like 60. They're older than mug. They 60 with gray hair.
And some people probably still sitting up here thinking that wasn't what was going on. These guys were lovers, quarrels, and decisions being made, and the whatever. I mean, the groups and the Masons and whoever the groups that they are part of, that they had to escalate through and get the monies to market them. But a lot of alcohol companies made money. A lot of clubs made money. A lot of gun sellers made, bullet sellers, drug sellers. A lot of people, other than black, a lot of black people went to jail, and a lot of others made money off of that toxicity. That's what I'm disappointed in. And then they had some of these black men trying to choose whether they needed to be a thug because the girl off the block didn't want her because he wasn't thug enough, and then he couldn't read a book because then he would be cornball. He would call the cornball. So like he couldn't even get the girl. He had to act like a thug. Like that's sad. That's just disappointing.
It was disappointing. The whole documentary, once again, disappointing to me. I thought it was. I can't even say it was good or bad. It was just
informative. I feel like narrative.
It was informative, but it was like, I'm not using the word whack to describe it. Was the content of like the way it was put together, but it was just whack. That's the shit that was going on. That shit is just whack. It's so whack. It's whack. It's boring. It's like, that's what y'all was doing. Like not stacking chips. Like your kids is coming up next. Like,
right.
You wasn't grooming them to take the world over to
that. I was disappointed in. I was disappointed in Diddy for business. That. Yeah, like they didn't.
You just had them as like your little boy lackey.
Yeah,
you ain't have them bossing up to take over. And here's part 2.
Right.
Part 2. Bang. No, it wasn't part 2. No. It's like that's it.
That's it.
It ends here.
It ends there.
All that good fucking music ends right here.
Yeah.
All them deaths and just end here. Like this is how it ends for them. You beating up on little. I don't know what she is. I don't know what she is. I have no idea. It's so funny you put it together. I was like, you just beating her up in the elevator. That's all. That's
I'm not laughing at her.
Give it a 16. No, I'm not laughing at her at all. But I'm like, this is how that figure just. Come on, bro. Come on, son. You telling people got locked up with you? Did 10 years time? Didn't even get to hear what he was about to do.
Other great rappers we didn't get to hear because they too just probably, they couldn't get their music marketed like we can now.
Like they say Craig Mack was about to sign to Death Row. I had no idea. Craig Mack was going to sign with Suge Knight. Imagine what that was going to sound like. Imagine Craig Mack on Death Row. That means Dre was going to produce for him. Come on. We didn't get that because he said, his wife said he was scared for his life. He was like, I'm going to sign with that dude. Sign with that dude, I might be alive too. That's crazy, man. Craig Mack. What a sad life that was. I feel bad for him. Rest in power to Craig Mack, man. Because he was about to sign to Death Row. That would have been wild to me. I was a Craig Mack fan. That dude could spit.
No, I feel like I was truly saved from the industry because I being around it, you want to participate and be a part of. You think this is black enlightenment and black highness and black whatever gratitude, whatever they call it, and you want to be a part of it, and you're not realizing. And you thinking, if I did it, I would have been great. I would have get my master's. I would have not realizing you're being drugged.
Get my publishing.
You'd got your publishing right.
Let me rub this baby. Like, hold on. Why am I feeling sleepy?
Right? Like, they putting the drugs in the air. You smelling. You thinking you were powerful. You over. You could walk in a room of orgies. You like, nah, I'm fucking that, but I'm just trying to get this money. But
that baby oil might be coming out in the mist.
Right. Like you don't know that you might be being drugged. And I remember back then women were having a very big struggle going to hang out because
women were being goofy.
They were being roofy. They were being drugged. They were being taken advantage of. And man, that yeah. And honestly, there's some more people that they could have added to that documentary that that I even know
That'd
of
been
that
like
have been around.
like 20 episodes. That's why they took it to what, 4? Like
Yeah,
4?
that actually people wrote for Diddy. A lot of people in DC.
But
a lot of people in Georgia.
they probably didn't speak to him because they didn't want to speak.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like I know people that hung around Cassie and Diddy, and like they probably didn't want to speak.
They probably didn't want to speak.
They didn't want to, give up their names, and
it took a lot for those people that put themselves in that video to be there.
Yeah,
those people took a lot for them.
And when I say I got saved, because I remember I was just, why do these people have such a disgusting attitude? Like when you talk to them, like like the words they were used, just pretty much. I'm like, oh, you were trying to scare me away because you knew what was behind the Wizard of Oz. You knew what was back there, and you knew that my light was too bright to be dimmed in that way. So because at one point I was like, oh yeah, I could sign to Diddy, Bad Boys, and all that,
but who didn't say they wouldn't have done that?
Right.
Let's be real. He used to come to DMV all the time with the band and all the things. I remember they was hot out the streets when he was here. Mm-hmm. We lived near the DMV, so Howard was jumping. Mm-hmm. Howard homecoming, Diddy coming. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pause, right? Now you got to pause on the whole situation. Mm-hmm. It was hot. And who didn't say that? Who wouldn't have said that?
Yeah.
But to find out, like when the guys, like the Day group, they were legitimately crying.
Day 26, yeah.
They were legitimately crying. They're like, yo, what was going on for those men to be in such... They were just an R&B guy. Just singing R&B. Why are you like, yo, is that serious? Come on, man. Disappointed, man.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in what it did truly to the female MC. I'm very disappointed. As usual, they minimize women with powerfulness, and that's what we got. We got all what we got now, and yeah, it's just the way that it all rolled out. Like, yeah, there's nobody taking the torch, and actually taking on the torch with empowerment and taking on all that culture built. And doing something else for the culture. Yeah, like no one else.
You would expect. I don't know. They ain't got. I don't know who out there really got that. Y'all let us know out there. Let us know who that person going. Who that MC.
I think it's YouTube.
They're gonna do it on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I love YouTube. YouTube, I get to find new artists. I get to find new music. It might be corny to somebody. It's not corny to me. I feel like and I know my music was never corny. I feel like it was targeted. I was my niche was my niche, and just like I found other artists that are my niche.
But also let people the same way they got A&R back there when you ain't know it, when they had a building behind them. Mm-hmm. You actually getting to see the A&R occur in real time. And that's what I dig about YouTube, because I can grow with somebody like a Gabriel Henrique. I'm listening to him from the beginning and see that person expand, or Daryl Ong, or somebody I would never have checked out. And I can watch, oh, yo, that's what they sounded when they first, oh, man, look where he at now. Mm-hmm. Oh, now he is getting A&R by somebody. Maybe somebody stepped in.
And you got to be a crackhead or get peed on. I'm just saying.
Or have a mental health issue.
Or have a mental health issue that you're being exploited for.
And you're being exploited.
Because if
you got an issue, okay, you're working it. But don't get exploited. Don't exploit those people.
Getting exploited for it and not getting paid, and then that becoming the tagline. Like, people buy more of your music because you're not getting paid for it. Like, so and so ain't getting paid. Let's turn this up. Let's turn this up. This is struggle music.
F the struggle. F the struggle.
Now, if I choose to listen to a crackhead, it's my choice. Not because that's what I love.
That's what I love about where we're going, because now we get to say, okay, all right, okay, fill that arena. Mass market to fill that arena, but I know you spent a lot of money to fill that arena. Mm-hmm. Where this person right here may have filled that nightclub, and he made more money than that person in that arena. And that's where we at, and I like that. I like that we there. But yo, I think The Reckoning, disappointed. Thank you guys for tuning in. Loved everybody coming in and out. Yo, like, comment, subscribe. We're going to be going harder again 2026. We back again. Rogue MC, OG. We got special guests coming through. Keep checking out them shorts. Keep liking them. Keep commenting below. Appreciate y'all, man.
You want to know what I thought?
Thank you for sharing your thought.
My thoughts.
Peace, y'all.
Peace. As they say, one.